where you're ending your relationship with your best friend. And then you're left with nobody. So I understand the point. He was a good dad. He was a good husband. He just lacked in a very major area. I don't know how to fill this huge gap. I had an active household. Now I don't have that at all. And I just don't know how to replace it. Is how lonely it made me feel for what I have now.
Isn't that really sad? She basically is talking about, I don't know how I can replace my family.
But I've lost. So for those women that are in the same situation where you're ending the relationship with your best friend after 30 years of a marriage, I sympathize. I understand the pain.
Welcome back, family. Today, we are going to review this modern woman who decided to leave her 30-year-old marriage to go back to the streets just to get pumped and dumped.
30
Let's first
years?
start by watching her admitting that her ex-husband was actually a great dad and a great husband.
As they usually do.
This is a very complicated point. And this is one of the things that I faced that was the hardest for me to make the final decision to leave, is because he's not a bad dad. He's a great dad. My children were blessed with a very good father. And honestly, I had a really good husband. Other than these issues, I understand. But in terms of like sharing parental...
So here's the thing. She's going to start talking about some of the issues she had with him. But keep in mind, these issues, in some way, were so exceptional and minuscule that her general perception of him is that he is good. No human is perfect. But if you can get to the point to where you think of someone and in general you would rate them as a good person, good father, good husband, well, of course, all humans have flaws. But if your general perception of him is good or great, whatever, what's the problem? Now you're just nitpicking.
Sharing responsibilities around the house. Grocery shopping, cooking, like all of that. He was a good provider. So I think that was I definitely struggled with making my final decision to call it over because he was my best friend. I've read my journal on like the day before I got that May 1st letter in 2019. I was happy.
Turn this up.
We called each other multiple times throughout the day. If I ever have a win of any kind, he would be my first call. I lost all of that. I mean, other than the friends that I also lost, I lost my best friend. And I've not replaced that person. I just don't have anybody to call now if I have a win, which is probably part of this TikTok. So I'm sure there's other women out there that have felt the same thing, where you're ending your relationship with your best friend.
Yeah, you're all crazy.
And then you're left with nobody. So I understand the point. He was a good dad. He was a good husband. He just lacked in a very major area. But fucking complicated for the person who finally has to call it over.
And yet, you still call him a good husband.
So for those women that are in the same situation where you're ending the relationship with your best friend after 30 years of a marriage, I sympathize. I understand the pain.
What the hell would you end a freaking 30-year-old marriage with a great husband and come to cry on social media for sympathy? If your husband was such a great man, why don't you focus more on the positive side of things and less on the negatives? That is how you can compromise and gradually work on your differences as a couple. This is one of the...
Well, you know, for one thing, compromise. I think compromise is overrated. Because so nobody gets their way. So nobody gets what they wanted. That's what compromise really is. Let's meet in the middle here. So hold on. So just nobody gets their way. So both people are unhappy with the outcome. I don't know. But, we often talk about how these women are kind of ruining families and are subjecting both themselves and their husbands to a lower standard of living This is true, but a lot of times what I don't talk about how is actually a lot of these women probably are doing these men a favor because we see how they are on camera. We see that they're crazy enough to create content like this and expose their intimate details about their life. That tells you a lot about them. And I actually think that a lot of times these women are doing these men a favor and getting the hell out of their lives.
Successful couples actually do things. I personally know why she left her 30-year-old marriage, and I will show it to you at the end of the video. But right now, we are going to watch her cry while regretting her decision of leaving her husband when loneliness hits hard.
And look, with the compromise thing, I'm half kidding. But I'm also kind of serious.
Promise that I will always be as honest as possible with all y'all. And I was humming and hawing as to whether I was going to post this. But I know I'm not the only one who has this issue. The unintended consequences that I didn't foresee going to Easter dinner on Sunday is how lonely it made me feel for what I have now and what I've lost. And I spiraled and have been in bed for the last 2.5 days. Total honesty. I actually had a session with my therapist on Thursday, and I had said to her that I just don't know how to replace this chasm of emptiness.
So real quick, yesterday, or actually it was today, I posted a video, and it was about this female therapist who came out and said to never believe a woman's story, specifically her marriage story, her divorce story, or her marriage story. And so I think what's happening is a lot of these therapists are doing exactly that, believing these women's story, and then they're probably buying into this story, and then are going ahead and saying, wow, if that's the case, you probably should leave. If that's the case, you need to dump this guy. This guy sounds horrendous. But of course, this woman is only presenting these therapists, more likely or most likely, women, female therapists, with a progressive background, of course, buying into this woman's story because maybe consciously or subconsciously, they are, of course, pro-woman, feminist, all these things, are then going ahead and telling her, yeah, leave. This is a toxic relationship. This guy is an undiagnosed narcissist or an undiagnosed avoidant or whatever the fuck. Leave his ass. And I think that's what a lot of this is.
That I have in my life. And I don't, for all of you that have gone through this and, started again later in life, especially in a brand new city, I don't know how to fill this huge gap. And, I had an active household. And now I don't have that at all. And
now you realize you loved it.
Don't know how to replace it. So if anybody has any ideas, let me know. I would love to hear how you did it.
No, you already had a lovely home, and you decided to destroy it because of your own selfish desires. Guys, this woman decided to divorce her husband and leave the city where they lived for over 24 years, just so that she can be free to ride the cock carousel like it was 1999. In this next clip, she will demonstrate by herself how she is really from these streets by showing you how many sexual partners she had in less than 2 years after she left her husband.
Really?
Okay, I saw this message and I thought, you know what, that's fair. So I just thought I would recap, like the ones that you don't have to worry about anymore. And then I'm like, I don't know what this list says about me, but these people are, they're not around anymore. So it doesn't matter. So, I mean, I could create a spreadsheet, but this is who's remaining. I don't know, that's going to be backwards, but so Mars, Polo, and RV. So let's talk a little bit. So Mars I've actually been seeing since November of last year.
What the
and
hell?
It's friends with benefits. Let's just be honest. He is attractive as all get out. He's younger. He's around
And he will never commit to you.
40. He's intelligent and lovely, and we see each other every couple of weeks, and I really, really like him. But that's what that is. So Polo, I started seeing a week and a half ago. He's a year older than me, so he's 56. Oh wait, I'm 56. We're the same age. I forgot I turned 56.
I don't know how old I am.
And he's lovely, and I really enjoy spending time with him. It's only been a week and a half, so we're early days. So, and then RV, little disappointing this weekend. It was his birthday, and I had said, hey, if you want to get together, we can do something, even though we haven't really seen each other much in the last few.
Yo, she literally hopped on the cock carousel. You can't make it up. She divorced her husband for a second chance at being a 304.
So he's like starting to edge over to like this side. I'm not willing to give up on him yet, even though all my girlfriends just said I don't want to hear about him anymore. Yeah, I don't know.
And this takes me back, right? Something I have noticed is that when these women talk about, their divorce story, a lot of times they'll actually refer to their ex-husband as their best friend. And so this tells me that's kind of like a very platonic relationship. Now, let's be totally real. 30 years into a marriage, you're not exactly going to be jumping each other's bones, of course. But I don't think it's good to refer to your significant other, your husband, your wife, boyfriend or girlfriend as your best friend. I understand it's well-intentioned or good intentions behind it. But it's like you're kind of just friend-zoning your wife. You're kind of friend-zoning your husband. And more often than not, you'll hear women talk about this. But this tells me we see how she immediately hopped on the cock carousel. And, your woman starts referring to you as her best friend. It's not good. You're not her best friend. You're the man who delivers the pipe.
He's giving me no indication that he's at all interested. So I'm kind of being out anyways. So that's who's remaining. I'm not looking to add anybody. I'm off the apps. I'm not looking to add anybody into the roster right now. I think we're good. So
56-year-old woman.
I hope that helps.
With a roster.
I'm not quite sure
Wow.
what this says about me, but anyways, that's where we're at. Okay. I'll have.
And yeah, I think these chicks hear about dating apps as they're older. They're like, yeah, I missed that whole dating app thing. I wonder what that would have been like. And they kind of get a little bit of FOMO, fear of missing out. And they're like, you know what? I kind of want to try that. Yeah, I didn't get a chance. I think I want to be a
Dates this week. Bye, everybody. I have a date with Polo tomorrow night. Okay, bye.
Ma'am, you asked what this list says about you. Well, this list reveals that you are 100% for the streets. As you guys can see right now on your screen how she decided to start going to the gym to work out so that she can look good for Chad and Tyrone. These modern women never put so much effort to look their best for their husbands when they are in their marriages.
Correct.
But they sure do when they want to go have some fun in these streets. I will now show you the real reason all these modern women divorce their husbands. They destroy their families just so that they can chase after Chad and Tyrone's validation. In this next clip, you will see the excitement of this woman talking about her Chad so that you guys can understand what I am talking about.
Okay. Mars.
Oh God.
So we had messaged, I think we met on Tinder.
So
and we
Tinder.
had started messaging probably in October, and just flirtatious. Yeah, his nickname was Mars is because he has a job involving space and stuff like that. So anyways, it was just an easy nickname. And so
I know it's so obvious, but I'm just going to point out how weird it is that this woman is documenting the cocks that she discovered on Tinder.
around 40,
Very weird.
attractive, mwah. And it was my first ever friends with benefits. And we met up for the first time in November, and consistently seeing each other until about just a few weeks ago. Anyways, I'll explain why. But man, if there was a way for a woman to feel desirable again, it is to it's to spend some time with somebody that, one, knows what they're doing, but then also just, I don't know, ladies, but mwah, he's great.
Oh, you're disgusting. Imagine you are this woman's ex-husband and you come across her TikTok account, the woman you loved for 30 years and sounds like built a family with, is now talking about how she's on Tinder getting piped by a bunch of random dudes and going into kind of intimate detail about them. This is strange, and it is gross. This is low quality woman behavior. No doubt about it.
And
This is disgusting.
yeah, it was always the joke whenever I start dating somebody, it's like,
So weird, man.
you know, it's important if they make me end it with Mars.
Bro.
Yeah, that good. On so many levels. And you know what, honestly, we would have great conversations as well. It wasn't just the physical. We would have fantastic conversations. And so, Mars.
Mars is rocking this woman's world, bro.
Now, let's have a look at how she keeps on pursuing her Chad even after he dumps her.
Yeah, she's
So
not
this
gonna
message
get...
is very timely because I was actually just about to make a TikTok because I actually heard from him yesterday, and so we're hopefully getting together in the next couple of days. So I know I still have to bring you up to speed on everything and as to like why we stopped communicating about 6 weeks ago, but I heard from him Friday, and yeah, I think we're gonna meet up in the next couple of days. So I will let you know.
Look at the excitement she has for someone that don't even give a about her.
You guys, I forgot to tell you, I saw Mars last weekend. I totally forgot to update you. I am so sorry. Oh my gosh, it's been such a crazy week. Yeah, we saw each other last weekend. It was lovely. So anyways, just wanted to update you on that.
Whether a modern woman is 18 or 55, they all act like teenagers most of the time. They react and make life-changing decisions by following their feelings. Remember that she even left her city so that she can go away to fulfill her need of being a 304. After all her debaucheries, she tries to come back to her city and cries after reality settle in. Let's watch.
So I'm still in the town where I had left when I left 2.5 years ago. It's been interesting. It's been melancholy in a sense that I came back, and as soon as people knew I was back, my phone blew up. And, you know, you're just instantly surrounded by...
Like, hey, I heard you're a whore now. What do you think about stopping by my place tonight? I got some wine, some Netflix. Let me know.
people who know and love you and know your story. And I saw my son, and I met his new girlfriend, and she's lovely. I've connected with
Hopefully she doesn't follow in your footsteps, right?
my mom in that we've texted, but she's actually not in town. She's actually in the hospital in another city, which I just found out when I got here. And so...
Yeah, she's probably in the hospital because she heard rumor of her daughter getting around town.
Still a work in progress.
About gave this old lady a heart attack.
Those maternal relationships are so freaking complicated. So there's been a lot of tears while I've been here. Honestly, did I make the right choice of moving away from here where I had so much support to a city where I didn't have anybody? And I'm still trying to figure it out and make it home. And I mean, I definitely have friends and stuff in the new city, but yeah, you forget that it's not the same as where you left. I was here for 20 years, 24 years. So it's a process.
Guys, when you see older women who are single and complaining about how there is no good men left to date them, do not feel sorry for them. They probably brought it on themselves like this woman. She had a family that loved her. She had a community that cared about her. She had friends that supported her. But what did she choose to do? She chose to leave everything and everyone behind just so that she can go chase Chad and Tyrone. My dear, you thought that you could do better than your husband? Well, you played yourself. Fellas, protect yourselves at all times and avoid these types of women like the plague. And above all, don't forget to keep your head up, focus on your goals, and everything else will follow. I love you and I appreciate you for all your support. Please feel free to like, subscribe, comment, and share to help push this content to more men in need.
Yep, shout out to HL Talk That Thought. If you enjoyed that video, subscribe to both my and his channels. And the video will be linked in the description. You can go check it out. But I will see you next time.